Good morning, everybody, and welcome back to WorksheetCloud and to your grade 6 English lesson. My name is Mrs. Vauger. Remember, if you do have any questions about today's lesson, you can email me at grade6@worksheetcloud.com. As you can see, it's a little bit nippy in Johannesburg, and so I've made a little fire because we are going to read today, but we are going to try to do a little quiz. So let's see if this works. Right, it's going to open up there, and we are going to play it together. So I'm going to put a timer off so we're not feeling under pressure, and let's play. I'm going to turn the sound a little bit lower. See what you remember. What is the plague? Take a look. Which one do you think it is? Right, I hope you got number 2. Right, we're moving up the ranks there. Why was Via so upset after starting high school? Right, just skim and scan. Which one is it? Yes, her friends had changed over the summer. Right, next one. Who is the biggest phony there is, and he's trying so hard to be popular all of the time? Who is the author referring to? I hope that you know it is. Good, Julian. Why did Augie grow his hair long? Okay, which one is it? Okay, I hope you got. It blocked out things he didn't want others to see. His face. What did August get used to doing when other people stared at him? Okay, what did August get used to doing? Pretend not to see their faces. What does Summer like best about Augie? Funny, tell him anything if he's not like everyone else. Let's see what. Great. I know my story. I hope you do too. I will give you some other ones like this to do in your activity. What was the most important precept Mr. Brown wanted his class to know? It's about who you are, who we are. Right, almost there. What is Augie's favorite holiday and why? Halloween, Christmas, his birthday, Halloween. There's a spelling there. I can see a spelling mistake. Right, it's not because he gets dressed up, it's because he can feel normal. Nobody can see his deformity. Well done. Nearly halfway. Right, why was Halloween Augie's favorite holiday? Okay, he could wear a mask to hide his face. Some of these are quite easy. What did Via convince Augie to do even though he was feeling sick? Okay, go back to school. She didn't convince him. Go to the Halloween parade. Right, she actually convinced him to go back to school and to the parade. Great. Right, halfway, guys. How do August's mom and dad view him? Needs to be sheltered, ordinary, could be one of those, or do they see him as extraordinary? What do you think? Right, well done, extraordinary. Why was Via so upset the morning of Halloween? Just skim and scan quickly. Which one do you think it is? Right, it was correct. She was missing her brains. Right, top of the leaderboard. Explain what made war on Augie's face. A birth defect, a genetic mutation, or he had terminal surgeries. Lots of spelling mistakes on these ones, hey? It was actually a genetic mutation. So on this platform, guys, you can go and find so many different quizzes to recap language, figurative language, or even something like this. Why did Augie take Julian's comment about him dressing up as Darth Sidious personally? Right, it's not because he loves Boba Fett, it's not because he's evil, it's because of the deformity in his face in the movie. Right, who is the first person to befriend Augie without anyone asking him or her to do so? We know that it was Good Summer at the summer table. No one asked her to become his friend, she just did. Right. What do August and summer have in common? Okay, let's take a look. Do you remember? It is they both have had someone close to them die. Her dad and his gran. Why was Augie considered a medical wonder? Survived the first night, went through numerous surgeries, had a rare disease, all of the above? Good, it is all of the above. Number 18. Why did Vera not tell her mom and dad that she took the subway home on the first day of school? Not one. She got into a fight with her friends. She didn't want to get into trouble. She was embarrassed that she didn't go home with her friends. Right, she was. She didn't want them to know that she was having issues with her friends. Alright, last two questions. Why was Augie the sun and Vera and mom and dad were the planets, orbiting the sun in the galaxy example? Okay. It's not that August always wanted to be attending because he didn't really. It's not that his face shines the brightest, it's that his needs came first. They have to because of his condition. And the very last one, guys, today. What is Summer's response when she's asked why she hangs out with the freak so much? Okay, let's try. Great, he is a nice kid. So, we've come to the end, guys, and we're actually at the top of the pop, so well done. There are so many other quizzes to do, so I will send you some links and you can try them out. Okay, right. So, guys, today we are going to carry on reading. I do hope that you're ready. We're on Jack, part 4. So get into a nice comfy spot. As you can see, I am. And let's read. So, in August, my parents got this call from Mr. Tushman. Now remember, Jack is the one who's talking in this chapter. My mom said maybe he calls all the new students to welcome them. And my dad said that's a lot of kids he'd be calling. So my mom called him back and I could hear her talking to Mr. Tushman on the phone. This is exactly what she said. Oh, hi, Mr. Tushman. This is Amanda Will, returning your call. Pause. Oh, thank you. That's so nice of you to say. He is looking forward to it. Pause. Yes. Pause. Yeah. Pause. Oh, sure. Long pause. Oh, uh-huh. Pause. Well, that's so nice of you to say. Pause. Sure. Oh, wow. Oh, super long pause. I see, of course. I'm sure he will. Let me write it down. Got it. I'll call you after I've had a chance to talk to him, okay? Pause. No, thank you for thinking of him. Bye-bye. And when she hung up, I was like, what's up? What did he say? And Mom said, well, it's actually very flattering, but kind of sad too. See, there's this boy who's starting middle school this year, and he's never been in a real school environment before because he was homeschooled. So Mr. Tushman talked to some of the lower school teachers to find out who they thought were some of the really, really great kids coming into 5th grade. And the teachers must have told him you were an especially nice kid, which I already knew, of course. And so Mr. Tushman is wondering if he could count on you to sort of shepherd this new boy around a bit. Like let him hang out with me, I said. Exactly, said Mom. He called it being a welcome buddy. But why me? I told you. Your teachers told Mr. Tushman that you were the kind of kid who's known for being a good egg. I mean, I'm so proud that they think so highly of you. Why is it sad? What do you mean? You said it's flattering, but kind of sad too. Oh, Mom nodded. Well, apparently this boy has some sort of, I'm guessing there's something wrong with his face or something like that. I'm not sure. Maybe he was in an accident. Mr. Tushman said he'd explain a bit more when you come to the school next week. School doesn't start till September. He wants you to meet this kid before school starts. Do I have to? Mom looked a bit surprised. Well, no, of course not, she said, but it would be a nice thing to do, Jack. If I don't have to do it, I said, I don't want to do it. Can you at least think about it? I'm thinking about it, and I don't want to do it. Well, I'm not going to force you, she said, but at least think about it some more, okay? I'm not calling Mr. Tushman back until tomorrow, so just sit with it a bit. I mean, Jack, I really don't think that it's much to ask that you spend a little extra time with some new kid. It's just not that he's a new kid, Mom, I answered. He's deformed. That's a terrible thing to say, Jack. He is, Mom. You don't even know who it is. Yeah, I do, I said, because I knew the second she started talking about him that it was a kid named August. I remember seeing him for the first time in front of the Carvel on Amesforth Avenue when I was about 5 or 6. Me and Veronica, my babysitter, were sitting on the bench outside the store with Jamie, my baby brother, who was sitting in his stroller facing us. I guess I was busy eating my ice cream cone because I didn't even notice the people who sat down next to us. Then at one point I turned my head to suck the ice cream out of the bottom of my cone, and then I saw him, August. He was sitting right next to me. I know it wasn't cool, but I kind of went, ugh, when I saw him, because I honestly got scared. I thought he was wearing a zombie mask or something. It was the kind of you say when you're watching a scary movie and the bad guy jumps out of the bushes. Anyway, I know it wasn't nice of me to do that, and though the kid didn't hear me, I know his sister did. Jack, we have to go, said Veronica. She had gotten up and was turning the stroller around because Jamie, who had obviously just noticed the kid too, was about to say something embarrassing. So I jumped up kind of suddenly, like a bee had landed on me, and followed Veronica as soon as she zoomed away. I could hear the kid's mom saying softly behind us, "Okay, guys, I think it's time to go." And I turned around to look at them one more time. The kid was licking his ice cream cone, the mom was picking up his scooter, and the sister was glaring at me like she was going to kill me. I looked away quickly. "Veronica, what was wrong with that kid?" I whispered. "Hush, boy," she said, her voice angry. I love Veronica, but when she got mad, she got mad. Meanwhile, Jamie was practically spilling out of his stroller trying to get another look at as Veronica pushed him away. "But, Veronica," said Jamie, "you boys were very naughty, said Veronica as soon as we were further down the block. "Staring like that." "I didn't mean to," I said. "Veronica," said Jamie, "us leaving like that," Veronica was muttering. "Oh, Lord, that poor lady. I tell you, boys, every day we should thank the Lord for our blessings. You hear me? Veronica!" "What is it, Jamie?" "Is it Halloween?" "No, Jamie." "Then why was that boy wearing a mask?" Veronica didn't answer. Sometimes when she was mad about something, she would do that. "He wasn't wearing a mask," I explained to Jamie. "Hush, Jack," said Veronica. "Why are you so mad, Veronica?" I couldn't help asking. I thought this would make her angrier, but actually she shook her head. "It was bad how we did that," she said. "Just getting up like that, like we'd just seen the devil. I was scared for what Jamie was going to say, you know. I didn't want him to say anything that would hurt that little boy's feelings. But it was very bad, us leaving like that. The mama knew what was going on." "But we didn't mean it," I answered. "Jack, sometimes you don't have to mean to hurt someone. You understand?" That was the first time I ever saw August in the neighborhood, at least that I can remember. But I've seen him around ever since then, a couple of times in the playground, a few times in the park. He used to wear an astronaut helmet sometimes, but I always knew it was him underneath the helmet. All the kids in the neighborhood knew it was him. Everyone had seen August at some point or another. We all know his name, though he doesn't know ours. And whenever I've seen him, I try to remember what Veronica said. But it's hard. It's hard not to sneak a second look. It's hard to act normal when you see him. Right, I'm just going to shift my position. Right. You can also get to see the fire a bit. "Who else did Mr. Tishman call?" I asked Mom late that night. "Did he tell you?" "He mentioned Julian and Charlotte." "You used to be friends with Julian." "Mom, that was like in kindergarten. Julian's the biggest phony there is, and he's trying so hard to be popular all the time." "Well," said Mom, "at least Julian agreed to help this kid out. Got to give him credit for that." I didn't say anything because she was right. "What about Charlotte?" I asked. "Is she doing it too?" "Yes," Mom said. "Of course she is. Charlotte's such a goody two-shoes," I answered. "Boy, Jack." said Mom, you seem to have a problem with everybody these days. It's just, I started. Mom, you have no idea what this kid looks like. I can imagine. No, you can't. You've never seen him. I have. It might not even be who you're thinking it is. Trust me, it is. And I'm telling you, it's really, really bad. He's deformed, Mom. His eyes are like down here. I pointed to my cheeks. And he has no ears, and his mouth is like... Jamie had walked into the kitchen to get a juice box from the fridge. Ask Jamie, I said. Right, Jamie? Remember that kid we saw in the park after school last year, the kid named August, the one with the face? Oh, that kid, said Jamie, his eyes opening wide. He gave me a nightmare. Remember, Mommy, the nightmare about the zombies from last year? I thought that was from watching a scary movie, answered Mom. No, said Jamie, it was from seeing that kid. When I saw him, I was like, ah! And I ran away. Wait a minute, said Mom, getting serious. Did you do that in front of him? I couldn't help it, said Jamie, kind of whining. Of course you couldn't help. Of course you could help it, Mom scolded. Guys, I have to tell you, I'm really disappointed by what I'm hearing here. And she looked like how she sounded. I mean, honestly, he's just a little boy, just like you. Can you imagine how he felt to see you running away from him? Jamie, screaming? It wasn't a scream, argued Jamie. It was like, ah! Put his hands on his cheeks and started running around the kitchen. Come on, Jamie, said Mom angrily. I honestly thought both my boys were more sympathetic than that. What's sympathetic? Said Jamie, who was only going into the second grade. You know exactly what I mean by sympathetic, Jamie, said Mom. It's just he's so ugly, Mommy, said Jamie. Hey, Mom yelled. I don't like that word. Jamie, just get your juice box. I want to talk to Jack alone for a second. Look, Jack, said Mom, as soon as he left, and I knew she was about to give me a whole speech. Okay, I'll do it, I said, which completely shocked her. You will? Yes. So I can call Mr. Tushman? Yes, Mom, yes, I said yes. Mom smiled. I knew you'd rise to the occasion, kiddo. Good for you. I'm proud of you, Jackie. She messed up my hair. So here's why I changed my mind. It wasn't so I wouldn't have to hear Mom give me a whole lecture. And it wasn't to protect this August kid from Julian, who I knew would be a jerk about the whole thing. It was because when I heard Jamie talking about how he had run away from August going, I suddenly felt really bad. The thing is, there are always going to be kids like Julian who are jerks. But if a little kid like Jamie, who's usually a nice enough kid, can be that mean, then a kid like August doesn't stand a chance in middle school. 4 things. First of all, you do get used to his face. The first couple of times I was like, whoa, I'm never going to get used to this. And then after a week, I was like, it's not so bad. Second of all, he's actually a really cool dude. I mean, he's pretty funny. Like, the teacher will say something and August will whisper something funny to me that no one else hears and totally make me crack up. He's also just overall a nice kid. Like, he's easy to hang out with and talk to and stuff. Third of all, he's really smart. I thought he'd be behind everyone because he hasn't gone to school before, but in most things, he's way ahead of me. I mean, maybe not as smart as Charlotte or Zamina, but he's up there. And unlike Charlotte or Zamina, he lets me cheat off him if I really need to, though I've only needed to a couple of times. He also let me copy his homework once, though we both got into trouble for it after class. The 2 of you got exactly the same answers wrong on yesterday's homework, Miss Rubin said, looking at both of us like she was waiting for an explanation. I didn't know what to say, because the explanation would have been, oh, that's because I copied August's homework. But August lied to protect me. He was like, oh, that's because we did our homework together last night, which wasn't true at all. Well, doing homework together is a good thing, Miss Rubin answered, but you're supposed to still do it separately, okay? You could work side by side if you want, but you actually need to do your homework by yourself, okay? Got it. After we left the class, I said, dude, thanks for doing that. And he was like, no problem. That was cool. Fourthly, now that I know him, I would actually say I want to be friends with August. At first, I admit it, I was only friendly to him because Mr. Tushman asked me to be especially nice and all that. But now I would choose to hang out with him. He laughs at all my jokes, and I kind of feel like I can tell August anything. Like he's a good friend. Like if all the guys in the 5th grade were lined up against a wall and I got to choose anyone I want to hang out with, I would choose August. Wow. Ex-friends. Bleeding scream. What the heck? Summer Dawson had always been a bit out there, but this was too much. All I did was ask her why August was acting like he was mad at me or something. I figured she would know, and all she said was bleeding scream. I don't even know what that means. It's so weird because one day me and August were friends, and the next, whoosh, he was hardly talking to me. And I haven't the slightest idea why. When I said to him, "Hey August, you mad at me or something?" he shrugged and walked away. So I would take that as a definite yes. And since I know for a fact that I didn't do anything to him to be mad about, I figured Summer could tell me what's up. But all I got from her was bleeding scream. Yeah, big help. Thanks, Summer. You know, I've got plenty of other friends in school, so if August wants to officially be my ex-friend, then fine. That is okay by me, see if I care. I've started ignoring him like he's ignoring me in school now. This is actually kind of hard since we sit next to each other in practically every class. Other kids have noticed and have started asking if me and August have had a fight. Nobody asks August what's going on. Hardly anyone ever talks to him anyway. I mean, the only person he hangs out with other than me is Summer. Sometimes he hangs out with Reed Kingsley a little bit, and the 2 Maxes got him playing Dungeons and Dragons a couple of times at recess. Charlotte, for all her goody 2-shoeing, doesn't even do more than nod hello when she's passing him in the hallway. And I don't even know if everyone's still playing the Plague behind his back, because no one ever really told me about it directly. But my point is not like he has a whole lot of other friends he could be hanging out with instead of me. If he wants to diss me, he's the one who loses, not me. Sounds like he's trying to persuade himself, hey, not to be friends. So this is how things are between us now. We only talk to each other about school stuff if we absolutely have to. Like, I'll say, what did Ruben say the homework was? And he'll answer. Or he'll be like, can I use your pencil sharpener? And I'll get my sharpener out of my pencil case for him. But as soon as the bell rings, we go our separate ways. Why this is good is because I get to hang out with a lot more kids now. Before, when I was hanging out with August all the time, kids weren't hanging out with me because they'd have to hang out with him. Or they would keep things from me, like the whole thing about the plague. I think I was the only one who wasn't in on it, except for Summer and maybe the D&D crowd. And the truth is that nobody's that obvious about it. Nobody wants to hang out with him. Everyone's way too hung up on being in the popular group, and he's about as far from the popular group as you can get. But now I can hang out with anyone I want. If I wanted to be in the popular group, I could totally be in the popular group. Why this is bad is because, well, A, I don't actually enjoy hanging out with the popular group that much, and B, I actually liked hanging out with August. So this is kind of messed up, and it's all August's fault. Snow. The first snow of winter hit right before Thanksgiving break. School was closed, so we got an extra day of vacation. I was glad about that because I was so bummed about this whole August thing, and I just wanted some time to chill without having to see him every day. Also, waking up to a snow day is just about my favorite thing in the whole world. I love that feeling when you first open your eyes in the morning and you don't even know why everything seems different than usual. Then it hits you. Everything is quiet. No cars honking, no buses going down the street. Then you run over to the window and outside everything is covered in white. The sidewalks, the trees, the cars on the street, your window panes. And then when that happens on a school day and you find out your school is closed, well, I don't care how old I get, I'm always going to think that that's the best feeling in the whole world. And I'm never going to be one of those grown-ups that use an umbrella when it's snowing, ever. Dad's school was closed too, so he took me and Jamie sledding down Skeleton Hill in the park. They say a little kid broke his neck while sledding down that hill a few years ago, but I don't know if this is actually true or just one of those legends. On the way home, I spotted this banged-up wooden sled, kind of propped up against the old Indian rock monument. Dad said to leave it. It was just garbage. but something told me it would make the greatest sled ever. So Dad let me drag it home, and I spent the rest of the day fixing it up. I superglued the broken slats together and wrapped some heavy-duty white duct tape around them for extra strength. Then I spray painted the whole thing white with the paint I'd gotten for the alabaster sphinx I was making for the Egyptian Museum project. When it was all dry, I painted lightning in gold letters on the middle piece of wood, and I made a little lightning bolt symbol above the letters. It looked pretty professional, I have to say. Dad was like, "Wow, Jackie, you were right about the sledge." The next day, we went back to Skeleton Hill with Lightning. It was the fastest thing I've ever ridden. So much faster than the plastic sleds we'd been using. And because it had gotten warmer outside, the snow had become crunchier and wetter. Good packing snow. Me and Jamie took turns on Lightning all afternoon. We were in the park until our fingers were frozen and our lips had turned a little blue. Dad practically had to drag us home. By the end of the weekend, the snow had started turning grey and yellow, and then a rainstorm turned most of the snow to slush. When we got back to school on Monday, there was no snow left. It was rainy and yucky the first day back from vacation, a slushy day. That's how I was feeling inside too. I nodded hey to August the first time I saw him. We were in front of the lockers. He nodded hey back. I wanted to tell him about Lightning, but I didn't. Fortune favors the bold. Mr. Brown's December precept was, "Fortune favors the bold." We were all supposed to write a paragraph about some time in our lives when we did something very brave, and how because of it, something good happened to us. I thought about this a lot, to be truthful. I have to say that I think the bravest thing I ever did was become friends with August. But I couldn't write about that, of course. I was afraid we'd have to read these out loud, or Mr. Brown would put them up on the bulletin board like he does sometimes. So instead, I wrote this lame thing about how I used to be afraid of the ocean when I was little. It was dumb, but I couldn't think of anything else. I wonder what August wrote about. He probably had a lot of things to choose from. Private school. My parents are not rich. I say this because people sometimes think that everyone who goes to a private school is rich, which means they don't have those kinds of jobs where people make gazillions of dollars. Okay, that's not true about us. Dad's a teacher and Mom's a social worker. We used to have a car, but we sold it when Jamie started kindergarten at Beecher Prep. We don't live in a big townhouse or in one of those dormant buildings along the park. We live on the top floor of a 5-story walk-up we rent from an old lady named Donna Petra, all the way on the other side of Broadway. That's code for the section of North River Heights where people don't want to park their cars. Me and Jamie share a room. I overhear my parents talk about things like, "Can we do without an air conditioner one more year?" Or maybe I can work 2 jobs this summer. So today at recess, I was hanging out with Julian and Henry and Miles. Julian, who everyone knows is rich, was like, "I hate that I have to go back to Paris this Christmas. It's so boring." "Dude, but it's like Paris," I said like an idiot. "Believe me, it's so boring," he said. "My grandmother lives in this house in the middle of nowhere. It's like an hour away from Paris in this tiny, tiny, tiny village. I swear, nothing happens there. I mean, it's like, oh wow, there's another fly on the wall. Look, there's a new dog sleeping on the sidewalk. Yippee." I laughed. Sometimes Julian could be very funny. Though my parents are talking about throwing a big party this year instead of going to Paris, I hope so. "What are you doing over break?" said Julian. "Just hanging out," I said. "So lucky," he said. "I hope it snows again," I answered. "I got this new sleigh that is so amazing. I was about to tell him about Lightning, but Miles started talking first. "I got a new sleigh too," he said. "My dad got it from Hangmacher Schleffner. It's so state-of-the-art." "How could a sleigh be state-of-the-art?" said Julian. "It was like $800 or something." "Whoa! We should all go sleighing and have a race down Skeleton Hill," I said. "That hill is so lame," answered Julian. "Are you kidding?" I said. "Some kid broke his neck there. That's why it's called Skeleton Hill." Julian narrowed his eyes and looked at me like I was the biggest moron in the world. "It's called Skeleton Hill because it was an ancient Indian burial ground. Duh," he said. "Anyway, it should be called Garbage Hill now. It's so frickin' junky. Last time I was there, it was so gross, like with soda cans and broken bottles and stuff. He shook his head. I left my old sleigh there too, said Miles. It was the crappiest piece of junk, and someone took it too. Maybe a hobo wanted to go sleighing, laughed Julian. Where did you leave it? I said. By the big rock at the bottom of the hill. And I went back the next day and it was gone. Couldn't believe somebody actually took it. Here's what we can do, said Julian. Next time it snows, my dad could drive us all up to this golf course in Westchester that makes Skeleton Hill look like nothing. Hey, Jack, where are you going? I had to start walking away. I've got to get a book out of my locker, I lied. I just wanted to get away from them fast. I didn't want anyone to know that I was the hobo. Sure. Right, guys. So we are going to stop there. I do hope you've enjoyed it. We've got a couple of more pages to read, and please let me know if you are enjoying this book, because then I know if I need to carry on reading it. So we've come to the end of our lesson. I will put a quiz into the activity today, and remember you can email me at grade6@worksheetcloud.com. So thanks so much, grade 6s, for watching. I hope it's warmer where you are. And this lesson was brought to you by Worksheet Cloud. My name is Mrs. Bourget, and I will see you same time, same place. Bye, guys.